What you're about to see is based on a collection of unsettling personal accounts, online forum posts, and urban folklore. It is a work of fiction. Viewer discretion is advised. The 10th floor was supposed to be a refuge. For Alex, it was his quiet corner of the sky, a place far removed from the noise of the city below. He was settled on his couch, the city lights painting soft patterns on his walls, a half-empty mug of tea cooling on the table. A flicker of movement across the street caught his eye. He leaned forward, squinting. On the rooftop of the opposite building, a dark shape stood out against the ambient glow. It was long, stick-like, and unnaturally still. He blinked, rubbing his eyes, and when he looked again, it was gone. Just a shadow, he thought, a trick of the late-hour light playing on an antenna or a water tower. He shrugged it off and turned back to his book, the thought dissolving like sugar in his tea. But the shadow came back. The next night it was there again, in the exact same spot. A tall, thin silhouette, motionless, a sentinel of the night. Alex felt a prickle of unease. He grabbed a pair of binoculars from his desk, his hands fumbling slightly. As he focused the lenses, the shape remained indistinct, a column of pure darkness, but now he was certain it wasn't an object. It was a figure, and it was watching his window. A cold wave of paranoia washed over him. He spent the next few days in a state of escalating anxiety, keeping his blinds drawn tight. Yet the feeling of being watched never left. It was a heavy, suffocating pressure, as if a pair of unseen eyes were boring through the walls, right into his soul. Then the storm broke. Rain lashed against the glass, and thunder rattled the foundations of the building. The sky was a chaotic light show of electric veins. Alex, drawn by the raw power of the storm, dared to peek through the slats of his blinds. He waited for the next flash of lightning, his heart pounding in his chest. When it came, it illuminated the world in a stark, momentary photograph, and his blood ran cold. The figure was no longer on the building opposite. It was here. It was clinging to the outside of his window, its long limbs splayed against the glass like a grotesque insect. Its face, inches from his own, was a horrifying, featureless void, a swirling vortex of shadow. Alex screamed and scrambled backward, falling over a chair as the lights in his apartment flickered violently, then died, plunging him into absolute darkness. Silence descended, thick and heavy, broken only by the drumming of rain and his own ragged breaths. After what felt like an eternity, the power surged back on with a hum. The lights flickered to life, revealing an empty room. The window was clear, just rain-streaked glass reflecting his pale, terrified face. Shaking uncontrollably, Alex staggered to his front door, his hand trembling as he fumbled with the deadbolt, checking and rechecking that it was secure. He leaned his forehead against the cool wood, trying to will his racing heart to slow down. "It's not real," he whispered. "It was just the storm." He slowly turned around, his back to the window. The camera stays on his face, on the false dawn of relief beginning to spread across it. But in the dark reflection of the window pane behind him, a tall, slender shape slowly coalesces, its featureless face hovering just over his shoulder. It was already inside. The events depicted in this video are fictional. However, if you or someone you know is experiencing feelings of intense fear, paranoia, or distress, please consider seeking support from a mental health professional. Your well-being is important.